I took the last bite of what was a BLT sandwich that sat on the plate in front of me. The bacon was a little overcooked, but overall, it cured my hunger. I pushed the plate to the side of the table where it would soon be collected by the waitress. To the side of my water glass laid a newspaper I had brought with me. A 12-hour shift at the community hospital's ER, followed by a much-needed meal, was like routine for me. I was tired from the shift prior, which is why I ordered coffee tonight. I unfolded the newspaper and immediately flipped to the sports section. I normally don't stay up to date on the current events, though sports has always been a favorite of mine. I browsed through the numerous box scores and searched for the local baseball teams section. Lost again last night. "Can I get you anything else, hun?" The waitress looked down on me with a smile. "No, thank you. Just the check, please," I responded. She nodded and moved back towards the kitchen. I thought about my plans for that night. A few of my friends had texted me earlier asking if I'd like to stop by. I was still contemplating, as I knew I needed my rest. However, I was off the following 2 days, so it was still an option if I was able to get home early enough to get a shower in. My eyes fell back down to the paper as I randomly flipped through the thin pages and bolded headlines. A trip to the restroom, and then I'd be on my way. I grabbed my phone and laid the paper open flat on the table in the area I was sitting behind, and stood up. It felt good to stretch my back after sitting. I began to walk toward the back of the diner, and in my commute, I passed by the waitress who had been helping me. "Just gonna use the bathroom real quick. You can leave the check on top of the paper," I said to her as I walked by. She smiled. "Take your time." I pushed open the bathroom door, which revealed a single urinal and 2 stalls. I wasn't alone, however. There was a man standing in front of the mirror, washing his hands. I chose to mind my own business and walked up to the urinal. I sighed for a moment. I looked at the wall in front of me and took a deep inhale. When I got tired of looking at the tiles on the wall, I glanced over towards my right at the man. My mind wandered until my eyes landed upon the sink. The water was pouring out of the faucet and into a sink bowl that was covered in blood. A look of confusion crossed my face. I looked at the man and saw the large droplets of blood were falling from his chin. I thought nothing of it, as I do work in the ER and see blood on a daily basis. It was strange, however, that he was not moving, just staring at himself. I only saw one side of his face and couldn't make out what exactly was bleeding. I felt I was being intrusive, and again switched my focus towards the wall in front of me for a few seconds. However, my head wanted to turn back and look. I gave in, and with a quick swivel, I found my eyes fixated on the man. Only this time, he was turned and staring at me. I felt my heart begin to race. His face was mangled. A large gash crossed the center of his face that continued down to his mouth. His nose was barely visible under the blood. I felt my hands begin to shake. I tried to look away, but he just stared at me. I blinked for a moment, which unfroze my body. I looked down toward the urinal as I fastened my zipper. The banging door made me once again turn to look. But no one was there. He was gone. I moved toward the sink, which was still running and painted in red blood. I nearly slipped as I quickly moved out of the bathroom. My hands were still shaking as I made my way through the diner. I looked around trying to find any evidence of where the man could have gone. "Honey, are you okay?" It was my waitress. I was too scared to even speak. "Your hand, it's bleeding, hon." I looked down and saw that there was blood covering the inside of my thumb from grabbing the bathroom door handle. "I'll bring you some napkins," she said as she made her way past me. I took a few steps towards the booth I had been sitting in and took a seat. I was still confused. I looked around one final time and saw only customers enjoying their dinner. My eyes fell upon the check that was placed on top of the newspaper in front of me. I lifted the check to reveal that the paper had been opened up to the obituaries. Dead center, on the page, was the picture of a 79-year-old man, Edward Smith, survived by his wife, 3 children, and 8 grandchildren. Died in a car accident 2 nights prior. The same man I had seen in the bathroom.